It's time for Shake, Rattle, and Troll, a show for the serious fishermen, as well as the novice looking for tips from the pros. Shake, Rattle, and Troll is brought to you by Bill Luke Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman and tournament pro, Don McDowell.
All right, hey, I'm Don McDowell. Welcome to, it's a Sunday edition of Shake, Rattle, and Troll.
That's always better than that Wednesday edition.
It's the only one we have.
That's how I feel, too.
Yeah, nice. Hey, we're back live in one piece from the McDowell Monster Mud Run up in Payson, 5K run. JK's in the house. Don Ortiz was there. Patrick was there. Doug was there. 300 other runners were there.
Awesome day.
No incidences.
Nothing tragic, no.
Nope.
I saw a lot of smiles.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, the way this came down.
And fatigue.
The Payson Parks and Recs decided to put on a 5K run. We've been talking about it, supporting Payson. And, John, you actually ran in the...
was that what I was doing? I had no clue.
I thought you were just chasing Sasquatch.
It felt like it.
Phil 11.
You know, we're going to be talking about Sasquatch as we go through here.
I hugged him at the end.
Yeah, you know, so the Squatch was there. You and I both have watched Finding Bigfoot.
All the time.
No, there was a have you watched it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. There was a sighting of several Squatch in the Payson area. How far from that particular campground were we?
Less than 5 miles.
Nice. Okay.
That's nice.
As the crow flies.
Or the Bigfoot goes.
That's right.
Or an axe throw.
All right. Okay. I'm bringing that up because we're going to visit on an issue. Dita Preston Band did an outstanding job.
We had such a great time. That was such a blast out there. I'll tell you, my favorite part, honestly, Don, was seeing from young kids to grandparents out there. I mean, I saw a grandmother out there with 2 grandkids, and she wasn't trying to make a time. She was just having a good time.
Miss Deborah.
Miss Deborah.
Yes.
Having a blast. I had a couple friends come up and say, you know, if I'd known this was going to be like this, I would have definitely just got my whole family involved just so we could have a great day together.
Well, we're looking forward to next year. This was kind of a test run for a first annual event out of Payson on the Mountain High Games. And there was over 300 runners, a number of runners from other states as far away as Idaho.
Yeah.
Well, I know I posted it on LinkedIn, Facebook, and I had probably 28 people just on LinkedIn that were from other states that were like, wow, I'd love to be involved in that.
Well, there's been apparently 5 of these run in other states, and one of the guys that I spoke to, don't remember where he was from, young guy, he says, I've run a number of these, and this is the toughest one that I've had to run. Now, J.K. was representing Safeguard Business Systems, Shake, Rattle, and Troll, Bill, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Suzuki, and the National Guard. Took off like a shot. What is your assessment of the course?
I'll tell you this. The beginning, and I wish I had thought about it earlier. I drove up from the valley, and you go from basically 700-foot elevation. You go up to 6,500. That first 300 yards just about kicked me. I should have done some sprints because I wasn't acclimated to it at all. My lungs weren't prepared for the lack of oxygen.
Well, you were doing sprints in the morning. You signed up, and you were sprinting back and forth to the McDowell Casino.
I was not. That was just for nature's call. That had no, and I drove the Prius. I didn't sprint across.
All right.
No Squatch backpacking.
No, there was too much of an urgency at that time and place.
Indeed.
Yes. But after that, it was good.
Let's break this down. Okay. 5K basically equates to 3.1 miles.
Correct.
Okay.
And the first several hundred yards, they had a series of obstacles, and those were pretty good. They weren't bad until I hit the barbed wire. The first set of barbed wire, which is basically 100 yards, I went hands and knees. Bad idea.
Going to wear knee pads next year?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to wear knee pads next year.
You know, because that was one thing that, you know, we're sitting there talking to the National Guard, and I'm going, man, some of their tactical gear would have come in real handy on that
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Saw some nice brush burns on the knees there.
My
road
knees,
mileage.
Oh, yeah, I have road rash all over both knees. And after the first 100 yards like that, you know you're roached. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, you just got to suck it up.
Dig in.
Yeah. The only other problem that I had was after you got through some of the stuff, the mud got so into your shoes and your ankles at your feet. When I went home last night and I actually took a shower finally, there was so much gravel and grit in cavities of my body that
you never do.
I never knew existed. I peeled off stuff in my bedroom and I'm looking and going, holy cow, there's a lot of dirt in here now.
Yeah.
It was that bad. It got in everything.
Well, I only saw one runner, and it was actually a first responder. Her name's Nikki Jo, and works for the Houston Mesa Fire Department. I believe that's right. There were so many
fire districts that were there. Yeah,
responders.
Yeah, there really was.
Yeah,
I had no idea we had that many different districts. I mean, oh man! But they engaged as a Rim Country Firefighters Association. It came down and helped Town of Payson put that together. They built the log walls and a lot of the obstacles. Put a lot of work into it.
Oh, a tremendous amount of work.
And then they, as first responders, ran it Friday afternoon. Firefighters against the police department.
Tell me the firefighters won, please.
Yeah, they were.
Hands down.
The one guy goes, "Well, this is just an ordinary day for me."
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
It's what I did every morning.
Yeah, and I think that was
that boy needs help.
One of the guys from Beaver Valley.
Beaver Estates.
Yeah, and Houston Mesa. Those guys were just awesome. And then I'm up there in the announcer booth. I've got a pretty good view of this, and I can see them coming through the woods. And here comes there was a lot of women in there, and they did an outstanding job. This wasn't a male chauvinist event by any means.
Not by any means.
It was reverse male chauvinist at its finest.
Absolutely. The women were kicking
Yeah,
the guys'
I saw
butts.
some women just passing guys and up to the finish line.
Finishing up this comment, here comes Nikki Jo, running like a scalded Sasquatch. She's got on a halter top, a pair of short shorts covered in mud, and a pair of cowboy boots.
Are you serious?
I am serious. John, and she was not dilly-dallying. I mean, she was hurting on these boys. She was waiting for 2 or 3 of her firefighters, the male counterparts.
Do not like that one.
Yeah, going, come on, you can do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and we talked to her yesterday, and there was some teamwork, and it was kind of refreshing to hear. She says, we have an unwritten rule. 2 go into the fire, 2 come out of the fire. Mm-hmm. In this case, 2 goes into the woods, 2 comes out of the woods. So
I like that.
It was a cool deal.
Yeah.
So. And then at the end of the day, they turned the children loose, the kids.
Oh, they put them in the arena?
They put them in the arena, run through the mud. And I'm telling you what, it started out there was like 25 kids, and they kept coming. I don't know where all these kids came from.
There was a lot of kids there.
There had to be 150 kids out there.
That's what I loved about this event.
Yeah. Rolling around with grandmas and moms. And,
yeah.
And it was truly a family event, and as always, Cameron Davis, Town of Payson Parks Rex, did a hell of a job.
Oh yeah, my hat's off to Cameron and the gang there. I mean, they did outstanding work, and I know they were totally toasted and fried at the end of the day. It was a long day. It was just putting all that together. That's why I made sure that everybody was recognized at the end of the day. For all that work and effort, that's not an easy task.
Did you recognize me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You guys.
That green shirt?
Oh, yeah.
You played from 9 to 2?
10 to 2.
10 to 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys warmed up for an hour.
It felt that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
That was pretty cool. And the best part is the people that we got to meet out there, we had the kids do a dance contest, a twist contest. We were looking for the worst twister. So they're contorting, and the parents were like all up there with their cameras and stuff. That was great. I mean, I really look forward to doing that next year. I think you're going to have double the numbers out there. Definitely a family event, because you saw that with so many kids and family members there.
Absolutely.
That was just a wonderful thing, and a great way to get out of the valley
on
the hottest weekend.
Yeah.
How's that?
The folks from the National Guard, there were 3 young soldiers over there, and they go, they make us do this all the time. I'm going, yeah. Well, let's go.
Then you should have a great time. Let's go.
All right. Tell me, how did the timing work?
The timing was interesting. Everybody got a bracelet, and on the bracelet you scanned as you went over the starting desk, and that locked you in. And then when you came through the back gate, it locked you as well. So your time was locked in. And I was somewhere around 53 minutes, I think, 53 to 54 minutes.
Still, that's damn good. I saw that course.
The winning time was
32 and change.
32 and some change, and
was it the girl in the boots?
No,
it wasn't. But I'll tell you what, there was one kid named Matthew.
Oh my,
young guy. This guy came
screaming in.
I mean, up and down the bleep. When they come in, you saw some of you had to run up and down the bleachers a couple times. Run over, grab some fire hoses that were bundled up, run up and down the bleachers a couple times, 2 times, hit one more set of bleachers, there's 4 bleachers, and that'll whip you anyway.
Oh.
Up and down 2 big ladders, and then you met the gauntlet. There were 4 gladiators with bump pads trying to put these guys in the mud.
I saw something do it.
They were a little sexist, you know.
They were easy on the gals.
Yeah, but again, there was a couple of gals when they popped.
They were ready for them.
Yeah, they were ready
with the pads. They got into it. A couple of those boys went in hard in the mud like a yard dart.
Oh, by the way, the worst thing in the whole world for me yesterday was going up and down those stadium steps with the fire hoses and hearing Don going, JK's halfway up, 8, 7, 6, 5 more steps. Way to go, JK. Get the next one, JK. I'm going, why do I have to be the only person he really knows?
On top of that, we caught him out in the middle of the mud trench.
Oh, this is bad.
Wanting to do mud angels on his back.
I was halfway through, and I was so exhausted after the first half, I thought about that. And he comes, no mud angels in the arena, JK.
We saw everything. I was glad to be there. My hat's off to Town of Payson, summarily. Fine folks. Check them out. I'm Don McDowell.
Uncle JK.
Don Ortiz.
And when we come back, we're going to have our operations manager fill us in on what's happening to the Squatch. All righty, we're back. Patrick, we had a flurry of emails yesterday. And I bring this up because I basically, John, between all of us, we get thousands of emails monthly that don't mean a damn thing. But this one came out against one of my favorite products, Jack's Link Jerky, and their wonderful marketing campaign on messing with Sasquatch. My point is we're inundated with marketing. Most television advertising is geared for a third-grade mentality.
Of course.
They just treat you like a moron, and when I feel like I'm a moron, I change the channel, and I don't buy that product. But since Jack Links has hit the food shelves, there's one thing that I always have in my truck, my backpack, my bug-out bag, and my bass boat, and that's Jack's Links Jerky. And I particularly like the tender bites.
The tender bites.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
So, having said that, we get this email, and I'm going to turn this over to Mac Patrick over here.
I was goofing around one day on the internet and pulled up a story about a gentleman in Nova Scotia.
Barry Mingo.
Oh, so you're aware of this?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I had to share this with JK as well. He took offense to...
Now, who is this guy?
Barry Mingo is in charge of a anti-bullying campaign and internet safety for kids. Guy does really good work. The Toronto Police Department has given him all sorts of accolades for cyberbullying.
All right, so why is he messing with Sasquatch?
He believes that we should not be
bullying
Sasquatch and showing it to the kids on TV.
Boy.
All the commercials
and
show
he's from Nova
Sasquatch as
Scotia.
a victim.
Yeah. He thinks that because you eat Jack Links, you can go pick on Bigfoot.
And the problem would be?
Bigfoot gets you back.
all the time.
Well, I said,
Every time.
and I watched. You can go to YouTube and see
JackLinks.com.
a series of messing with Sasquatch commercials. I don't see anything in there that promotes bullying at all. And in fact, there are some object lessons to be learned in that.
Absolutely.
If
If
you're sitting in the woods and you're jacked up on Jack's Link jerky, and you see a guy that's 9 foot tall, covered with hair, you best be leaving him alone.
Yeah, don't go teasing
because
him.
at the
You should at
end,
least share.
end of the commercial, we're going to see what happens when you do mess with Sasquatch. I think it's beautiful marketing. I put them right up there in the same category as NASCAR, which is the master of marketing. Budweiser does a great job and some of their stuff. But Jack's Link, man, I'll tell you what, they've got my vote. 2 reasons. I'm a believer.
Absolutely.
I know Bigfoot is out there.
I've been to Alaska in those areas, and
Alaska. You have to go to Payson.
Yeah, that's right. You
We
have
got
to go to
the
Payson. What,
squatch-
five sightings out there?
Mogollon Monster has been around since way before me, brother.
Do you know that forest area up there is the best ozone in the world in Payson? Best ozone area for it puts off so much oxygen in the air that it's one of the safest places to be on the planet.
No wonder I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, really. Well, Pat, get back to the point. What's the long and the short of all of this?
I think Barry Mingo's using Jack Links in the wrong direction. I think he needs to use that as a pro-bullying.
Absolutely.
Because if you're being picked on, you need to get these guys back. Don't put up with these bullies.
Well,
in my opinion, I'm old school.
yeah, so am I. If you get picked on, there's only one way, in my mind, to achieve peace. Whatever the subject is. And that
One
is
piece at a time.
through superior firepower. I hate to see people. I taught martial arts for 15 years. I don't like seeing people walking around scared.
No.
And if you feel like you're being picked on, you go down and take yourself a martial arts class. You go to your local DNR, take a weapons hands-on class, figure it out.
That's right.
And,
Somebody will pay.
And keep Jack's Links in your backpack.
When I sold
At
my
all
truck,
times.
I had to get everything out of it. And stuck in the back corner was an old bag of beef jerky.
Still tasty.
Yeah, it was.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
no
it's
idea
good
when I
stuff.
put it in there, but it's
You ate it. Admit this. You still ate it. Even though you were cleaning out the truck, it had probably been there 2 years. You ate it, didn't you?
yes. I
Thank
did.
you.
What guy wouldn't?
It's one of those things that doesn't have a shelf life.
No,
It's like
Right.
Twinkies.
I agree.
Hey,
Oh, we don't have those anymore. Sorry.
But you saved me yesterday. Jack's Link was my token to save me
Oh,
for
yeah.
the day. I was so hungry before we started playing, and I was over there with Don and Patrick and his wife Jan, and it said, "I am starving." What's Patrick pull out of his backpack?
Jack Links peppered. beef
Yeah.
jerky.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Made
pepper.
my morning.
Peppered.
It's the last thing I ate before I started the run.
See that?
He goes, "You need some of this. You need some energy."
Well, when we are engaged doing what we do, we don't know what we're going to get involved in.
Well, that's why we played. We're all jacked up.
Nice. I like that.
Following with the Jack Links.
We don't know if we're going to be out 8 hours. Something could happen. We could be out there 2 days when we're supposed to be out
all the time.
for a short time. Yeah. So with all the survival gear, I'm pretty anal about my tactical bag, my bug out bag. But seriously, Jack's Link is in there. My Camelback's in there.
You have to have something.
Yep. Little water.
By the way, there were 5 rescues yesterday
5?
in the Phoenix metro area.
Wow.
People fell, got hurt, all because of the high heat levels yesterday. It was over 110, I think, in some spots.
Wow.
So, yes, prepare.
Anyway, in support of Jack's Link, send them an email. You got to love Sasquatch and what they're doing. And, if you feel like you're being bullied,
Call me.
yeah,
Get some Jack's Links.
yeah, call me. we'll deal with it. All right, we're going to move along. That's pretty good stuff. As we go through the show today, for roll call, we have a short one. We have one soldier that gave it up in the past week. we'll be talking to Rick over at H&M Landing on yellowtail fishing in downtown San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Larry the Lizard will be joining us from parts unknown. Not sure where Larry is, and I've got some information I want to share with James Guggenauer from Mr. Crappie at TTI Blakemore and out of Wetumpka, Alabama, on the Slab Daddy and the Spin Daddy if you want to catch more crappie. Mm-hmm. Slab Daddy.
Slab Daddy.
Yeah. Some other stuff going on. The fish are moving out of their spawning patterns. Jim did catch a really big fish. He's going to talk about that a little bit at the 8:30 segment. But I think one of the things important to notice right now, the water temperatures are going from medium to hot already. Now we're experiencing I saw 111 degrees at one point coming back yesterday.
Yep.
So the water temperatures are fluctuating between the mid-70s and the low 80s. They're going to go up into the 90s at some point. Anyway, the fish are pulling off, getting their summer patterns going on. This is the time of year. We still got a little topwater going on now, mind you. I mean,
at night or real early, real late?
At night.
At night
we'll talk about that. Nighttime patterns is what I really want to get into with James and Larry the Lizard. He's got some new pro worms, but his lizards are kind of the beta choice for fishing the summertime patterns and engaging in the night tournaments. So we're going to stand down, take a break, and keep going when we come back.
Works
for me.
All righty. I'm Don McDowell. We'll take a short break. Thanks to some of our sponsors, Build Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and beyond. We'll be back. Man, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're back. A couple things I have to tell you. The yellowtail fishing in San Diego is lighting up. We'll be visiting with Rick over at H&M Landing right at the beginning of the second hour. The 2-day dock counts as of yesterday afternoon, the 3/4 day boats, of which there were 3 out, had a total of 90 anglers. 97 yellowtail were boated, 43 barracuda, 91 rockfish, which is not a whole lot of rockfish because you're not doing rock fishing if you're catching yellowtail. A few calico bass, sand bass, and 1 sheep's head. Now, that sheep's head, if you fillet it, take the skin off and boil it, tastes just like a lobster.
Serious?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm real serious. Yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. The half-day boats, now I don't know where they were going, probably out around the point up in the La Jolla Trench area on the kelp forest. They had 153 anglers on 3 boats, 92 calicos, of which they also caught 230 shorts.
Shorts?
Short ones, yes.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, it must be leftover from the Japan.
No, they had some shorts. So, well, the California DNRs imposed some pretty heavy restriction on a lot of the fisheries over there. They have a minimum length limit, 101 rockfish, 5 sheephead, 4 sand bass, and mackerels. Holy mackerel. And they're fun to catch on light line.
Yeah, light line.
Yeah, if you got your bass rod over there, you don't want to take your favorite bass rod, nor do you want to take your favorite reel. Yeah, you hook into something. You know, I had the bright idea of throwing a Alba Garcia right in the middle of 20, 25-pound yellowtail bite. That was a bad idea. Smoked the reel. So, anyway, point being, the time has come to start booking your trips on the saltwater side of life.
I think we're going. It smells like it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was over there last week, had to do a turnaround, real fast turnaround, and I was 21 miles from H&M Landing, and just physically didn't have time to get there with the way the schedule was, but it's time. You've got some stuff coming up for the Dina Preston Band.
Yeah, we do. Right now we're getting ready to, first, 4th of July, we'll be at Luke Air Force Base.
Oh, good.
That'll be nice out there. This will be our 3rd year doing Luke Air Force Base since we haven't toured in the past couple Julys. We're usually overseas playing for our men and women, but it's a great honor for us to be at Luke Air Force Base. And we hope everybody that's listening will bring your families out there. Then the other part is we're working with the U.S. Embassy of Budapest right now.
Oh, that's right, the gypsy town.
That's right, in Hungary. The gentleman that worked at the State Department for the U.S. Embassy in Azerbaijan has been reassigned to this area, and I sent him a really nice Christmas picture of cactus with the Santa Claus hats and sunglasses on. He just thought that was killer, and his text back was, "How would you like to come and rock Budapest?" And it was like, yeah, let's get it started. So we've been working on this since December, and we're in the final phases. They're also changing over the ambassadors, so they've asked that we be a part of that event as well as the changeover of the guards, you might say.
Is this an Obama regime change?
It is. So the Out with the New, and it shall be pretty cool. It's a historic event for us to perform at. You know, it is a historical time when you change over things like that. So that'll be a lot of fun. We're first off, it's an education week. So we're going to be playing at the educational area, and Dina, a lot of people don't know that she has her doctorate degree. Dr. Dina Preston Ortiz, exactly. That's her official title. She has a doctorate degree in business marketing, and so they're going to actually have her speak at several events, as well as us performing at separate events.
Do you need a translator? I'm serious.
They usually always have a translator there in any of the countries we go to, whether
somebody's always after my gigging.
You know, the
gig jumped you.
With these guys, they have their stuff packed pretty tight. I've already volunteered to carry bags, wipe their brow, provide personal security, play a tambourine. Is like, we got to go.
You do need a tambourine player.
And he said he'll bring
a
a year supply of Jack Links with him.
Yeah.
Nice. But it's really cool for us to do this. I mean, for us to represent Arizona and the United States, I mean, that's an honor in itself. And to continually be being asked to do these types of events and travel abroad representing, you couldn't ask for a better gig in life. I mean, I'm really proud of our group and the guys that go through this. You know, people don't know what you give up when you're going to Afghanistan and being in the front lines and things like that. And to do these kind of things is just such an honor. And to know that we've been doing it for over 20 years, that's a longevity that we never would have dreamt of when we first started doing all this.
You'll get a real education in Hungary when you go in there. There's now, I know there's some documentation that's available about the Hungarian Revolution of 1956. My family took in refugees, and they, you know, at that time my family lived in Ohio, and my parents took in 3 men who came out. They escaped through that Eastern Bloc, and they brought their families out, and they live in the United States, but that came out in the Hungarian Revolution. And
over the wall and through the wire?
Oh, yeah. It was basically that same deal.
Yeah, that is the deal. And a lot of people don't know that Budapest are 2 different areas. It's 2 separate areas.
Separated by the Danube.
Separated by the Danube bridge there. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place. The Budapest is just gorgeous. So we're really looking forward to it. We'll be going in September. We're leaving September 6th or 7th, and we'll be there for a total of 10 to 12 days.
Nice.
And that's perfect. I mean, and like you said, JK, it's an educational week, so I'm sure they'll be teaching us things that we don't know, and vice versa. And to be there in that time is just going to be freaking awesome. I mean, we're really looking forward to that. We're writing a song right now about our U.S. Embassy tour. The song's called "I Can't Wait to See You Again," and that's going to be our encore tune. So we're working on that right now. And of course, then we just also through LinkedIn, we're already booked for 4th of July of next year to play at the Bemis Pop Festival in Waterfront, New York. They have a stage that floats right on the water, and holds 6,000 to 10,000 people out there. They come out.
I am not doing a water run. I draw the line at mud run.
Fishing opportunity.
You can just, well, the cool thing about this, now think about it. You could actually do some bass fishing on this lake while you're watching the Dina Preston Band. You can actually tie an anchor in behind the stage and just be fishing out there while you got music.
That's not a bad thought.
Yep.
That's a good way to get out and enjoy some time.
Yep. Beer and a bobber.
That's right. Beer and a bobber.
Add one more B and we're there.
Yeah.
Babes, beers, and bobbers.
Oh, sounds like a great day already. But we're looking forward to that. And of course, the Bill Luke's Big Bass Days will be out there next year.
Yeah, that's already
In the works.
Screaming right along.
That's right. So, maybe we'll have some other surprises for you out there. Keep in tune. Don't forget to go to our website. It's www.dinapreston.com, and that's DINA. And you can download our music. You can see where we're playing. Come on out there and be live with us. Be great.
Sounds good. How many's in your entourage going to
Budapest?
Well, we actually proposed to them 4 or 5, and that's what we're waiting for the final, if they're going to let us take the 5th member or not. And if not, then, it's easy to travel with 4.
Hey, Don, can you see this? Who draws the short straw out of the band? I guarantee you it ain't going to be Dina.
That's right.
No.
Exactly.
I don't think it's going to be Don.
Who's
So
on
you
the,
other
who-
three?
Who's on the bubble?
On the bubble is actually our keyboard player.
Ooh.
So he's the in or out guy. If they don't take the 5th member, then we won't have a keyboard player. It'll be a power trio with Dina singing.
Sure.
And it's nice for me, like I said, for traveling, it does make it easy for 4. But for sound-wise, 5 people always sound better on stage. It's a fatter sound. It's almost a mystery, though. You never know what you're going to get when you get there. I've had the weirdest PA systems you've ever can imagine.
Yeah, as far as facilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we've had some embassies hire a full sound company production crew, and it's a walk in the park for our band. And then there's sometimes where we're actually the sound guys and everything.
Yeah.
So that makes for a long day.
Now, are the security folks provided for you?
Yeah, they usually have a nice entourage with us, translators, and then, of course, a great schedule. And that schedule, you're going from the time you wake up to the time you're on their clock.
Bam.
And
so
there's
Don
no
wanted
rest.
to be security, didn't you, Don? I saw you edging in on that.
Yeah, he's got his badge out right now.
Mm-hmm. Black belt.
All right, hey, that's good stuff. We'll come back. We're going to visit on roll call this week. That'll be a short one. Tell you some things that you probably don't know about what's going on over the theater. And then roll into the next hour of fishing. Nothing but fishing.
Amen.
I'm Don
Yeah.
McDowell,
John Colazar.
Don Ortiz.
and we'll be back.
Didn't have to turn my head when
All right, we're back. JK, I want you to respond to the Wolf article in the paper in the last week or so. We keep getting inundated with green folks that
Can't
want
imagine
want
why.
us to have wolves and bears and all these things foraging on our game base.
You mean the buffet table that you and I help support?
You've termed it the buffet table for sure. But, we recently had a meeting with some of the folks from the Wildlife Service out of Albuquerque, which absolutely went nowhere.
I can't respond to that. I'm not at liberty to discuss it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a matter of national security where we're putting wolves. How do you respond to the Republic? First of all, thumbnail of what the Republic was saying again.
Well, basically what happened was last Sunday, you enraged me on my ride down here when you said you need to read the Wolf article because they were releasing a female who was impregnated with pups, and they wanted to make sure that, that she survived, and there was all this other stuff that was going on about that. And so when you called me, I read the article, and during the week, there were a couple letters to the editor that the Republic saw fit to publish.
Sure.
And obviously the article was very pro-wolf. You know, they had even a questionnaire that I didn't even catch because I was, in such a hurry. But they said like 54% of people said, "Oh, we need more wolves." And during the week,
who the hell are they talking to?
well, there was an online thing that you could do if you read through the article, which we both missed. But what they wound up doing was they wound up going and publishing articles from people who are out of state, supporting wolves in our state. And of course, it came from, where do you think? California.
California.
Yeah, land of fruits and nuts. Okay?
The left coast.
The left coast. Then they also published an article from somebody in, guess where? Tucson. What a surprise. I would have never thought anybody in Tucson might be a little bit green. So I wrote an article, a letter to the editor, and they sent back saying we're considering publishing. They never did, and they don't. I've had numerous letters that I do that just don't get done.
They don't want to deal with the facts.
No, they don't. No, there's no interest in it. They don't want to show the other side where people are saying we don't want more wolves. They don't want anybody who's counter to what the agenda is for the Republic, and quite frankly, they're green. I mean, it's okay if you admit it. The thing is they're trying to present themselves as non-biased, and it's just not true.
Well, in order to do that, they need to print both sides of the story and print the facts.
Correct.
Just the facts, and then let the general public decide. One of the facts is the general taxpayer base is responsible for over $30 million that we are aware of today.
And there's more there than 30 million.
For 74 wolves.
Yep.
How much, if you start doing the math, how much more money are they going to spend to get 100 wolves here?
My guess is if we looked at it seriously, we're probably at $1 million a wolf minimum. And that's scary. No, it really is scary. So I don't know what the answer is, but I know that if the public was aware of how much money, number one, that's only part of it, Don, because you have to look at all the money we put in as conservation groups.
Question. If
that's $35 million over the past 40 years that we've put into supporting wildlife and making sure there's a buffet table for them to eat something.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was my big bone to pick, and I think I would encourage anybody, if you want fair and unbiased reporting, don't buy the Republic, because it's not.
John, we have done this once before, call for some summary boycott of the Republic, and I hate to say it again because my 60s decade comes out. That's what we did.
Oh, I know.
Absolutely.
And it makes an impact. You don't like it, they won't fix it, they won't change it. If they're doing bad, don't buy it. I don't give a darn what the subject is. And
see, the public is not aware. The public actually thinks the Republic is being unbiased, and it is so much hogwash.
It is.
They slant their articles all the time.
John, I've said this before. We live in a 50% society. 50% of the people are not engaged. I mean, look at the political.
Well, you're giving more. I thought about 80% are not engaged.
Back on to how we started the program with effective marketing. These guys messing with Sasquatch, that's effective marketing.
Yep.
You understand the program.
Right? You understand the way we think.
Barry, what's his name?
Mingo. I thought it was Mary Bingo, but it's Barry Mingo.
But, if he wants to start picking on bullying, he needs to look at Bugs Bunny sticking his finger in Elmer Fudd's shotgun that has an endless supply of bullets, blowing himself up.
Look at Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
He always gets hammered.
Always.
Yeah. You talk about violence? Good Lord.
Yeah, the Acme blow-ups.
Yeah.
Explosives.
Yeah. All right, moving along.
Don't buy any Acme products.
Thank you. We're going down that sharp curve, Don. Look out.
Nice, yeah. Well, bottom line is, we need to be mindful of where and how we spend our resources and what the net end result is.
There's nobody that's held accountable. And quite frankly, if they want, we know the end result is they want 750 to 850 wolves in Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. And we're going to go to a meeting at the end of this month where we're going to try and put the lid on having any more than 100.
I was going to ask you if they were capping.
Well, here's the problem.
That's classified.
That's classified?
Oh, yeah.
This whole damn thing. And
you can't talk about that.
No, they can't talk about that.
Wow.
They can't ask the.
If they can write these serious articles and do all the slanting that they want to.
Yeah.
Financially, when is enough enough? How deep is the money pit to put wolves in the field?
Oh, and by the way,
I agree.
One of the things she pointed out that will never, ever, ever change. When they finally discovered that there were some Mexican gray wolves, there were a total of 7 in captivity, and that was it. There were none in the wild. There were 7 in captivity. They keep talking about re-releases for expanding the gene pool. You can't expand beyond the 7 you had. You can try and go to the ends of the borders of those 7, but that's it. You don't have any more, and they were domesticated. They're not wolves.
No, definitely not.
In Mexico, what we did learn, how many wolves were in Mexican gray wolves were in Mexico? 3.
3. How
They
many
put-
in captivity there?
They put in 5. They
Rat
found
poison got them.
4 collars, 4 carcasses, 1 collar. Can't find the 5th wolf.
Wow.
Yeah.
All righty, so smoke them if you got them.
Damn
yeah,
right.
isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
It's that time.
Okay, couple things. I recently set in on a fairly high-level discussion, and I want to amend the suicide rate for active soldiers. The last statistics that I saw was 1 a day.
1 a day.
1 a day. That has been upgraded to 26 a day nationally. Wow. We're trying to confirm that, and we'll have some
amazing number.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's just something to think about. And roll call for this week, fortunately, as bad as it is, we only lost one soldier, Army Specialist Christopher R. Drake, died May 26, 2013, serving during Operation Enduring Freedom. 20 years old, out of Tickfaw, Louisiana. Was assigned to the 1084 Transportation Company, 165th Combat Support Sustainment Battalion, 139th Regional Support Group out of the Louisiana National Guard. He died by a rocket-propelled grenade in Bagram, Afghanistan. That's one. And fortunately, we did have some other KIAs, and trying to get our hands on those numbers is almost impossible coming out of DOD or the Pentagon. But there were quite a number of injuries, and I'm sure there will be some collateral damage as we follow up with next week. If you guys get a chance, salute a soldier. Freedom's not free, and our hearts and prayers go out to this man's family and his unit and the others that were involved in that incident. I'm Don McDowell. We'll be back.
On the angel flight, come on, brother, I'm
Yeah, she can drive a truck.
Yeah.
Run in the woods. All right, hey, good stuff. Hey, we're back. Don McDowell, John Colzar,
I'm Don Ortiz.
and Don Ortiz from the Dina Preston Band. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to tighten it up. We're staring 108 degrees in the face for the next 2 days. We've got Rick over in downtown San Diego, where the weather is always nice. Rick, what's happening?
Oh, just enjoying a little cool spell right now.
Yeah,
55.
yeah, we're starting to heat up over here, pal. Let me tell you, in a big way.
Man, I know it. Well, the only thing that's heating up here is the fishing.
We're watching that.
Yellows went off yesterday.
They sure did.
Yeah, Mikey got 70 on the three-quarter-day boat. All the other boats got a piece of it. Mikey just was in the right place at the right time.
Sounds good. Now, where was the right place? Are they down out in Ensenada on the rock pile?
No. Some of the boats were down on the rock pile. Mike was fishing the Coronado Islands proper.
Wow.
And doing real well. There's boats that went on the day-and-a-half boats, and they all limited out on yellowtail as well. But nice thing about those fish that Mike was getting at the islands, they weren't just the smaller fish. Most of the fish at the kelp were between 8 and 15 pounds, but he was getting them from up to 30 pounds.
Ooh.
So nice fish, really nice fish. Well, there were some small ones on that too, but he did get his share of the big ones. They even caught some nice fish at on the half-day boat this week. About 4 or 5 nice yellows on that boat this week.
Yeah,
with a
good.
really good bass. It's been going on.
I'm seeing good numbers on the yellowtail. One of the fun things that I like to get into, everything else fails, is getting the barracuda. What average size are these barracuda?
They're anywhere from 28 inches up. The biggest one I heard of was 13 pounds, which is a big beast of a barracuda.
Man, you aren't kidding.
Yeah.
A big one's usually 8 pounds. That 13-pounder is only about 4 pounds off the record.
Yeah, that's about 10 tacos right there.
Oh, man, a lot more than that.
Okay, for recommendations, we've got an awful lot of anglers that like to come to San Diego. What's your recommendation on bringing gear for yellowtail?
Yellowtail, 30 and 40-pound gear is the way to go. They've been eating the bait well, but they've also been eating the lures like Daddy 45s, Dallas 7Xs. Been good jig fishing as well as really good bait fishing.
Nice.
So,
anybody having any success that you're aware of on swim baits?
Really good bass fishing and real expensive barracuda fishing on swim baits.
It means there's a lot to go away.
Yeah, they don't work as well on the yellowtail though.
Well, I have a tendency to throw a lot of swim baits over there. Don't care what it is. If I know I'm in barracuda country, we got a toothy critter leader.
Yeah. Oh, it's not the leader so much. It's just they chop off his tail every time they bite it.
Well, yeah.
That's the only thing I worry about. You can usually catch quite a few on them without having them bite through the line. But man,
yeah. Well, I hate losing those 3DI 3/4 ounce lead heads.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's a bad thing. Okay, well, we're gonna start beating the drum. It's definitely time to get off the couch, load the truck, and get yourselves over to San Diego. See Rick in the tackle shop at H&N Landing. You got a daily catch count, hmlanding.com, or you can call Rick at 619-222-1144. And your hours are what? You work from when to when?
I'm here from about 5 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. But before I go, I did want to let everybody know that one of the long-range boats was going down on an 8-day trip, and about 200 miles south of here, they got into a big school of 50 to 80-pound bluefin tuna.
Oh, man. What a great problem to have.
That's good things coming up. So keep posted. I'm sure we're going to get into those tunas in the next few weeks or so.
Roger that. We'll talk to you next week. You have a better day out there in that.
How can you have a better day?
Well,
It doesn't get any better than that. He's fishing in 65 degrees. It doesn't get better.
That's pretty nice.
Nice.
Well, it might get the heat spell up to about 75 by the end of the afternoon.
Oh, darn.
Heat wave.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Rick. Check them out, hmlanding.com, or you can go to ShakeRattleAndTroll.com. We've got a hot link in there going right to the fish counts. There you have it, JK.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Right now, I'm telling you, it's time.
Yeah.
I want to wait till those bluefin come in.
No kidding.
No, you said something yesterday that you didn't take a couple hours and do some sprints.
Mm-hmm.
Yellowtail are like doing sprints.
Oh, warm-ups.
Yeah, warm-ups. You got to get warmed up. I'll tell you what, you go out there without any practice, without any warm-up, and you hang into a 60, 65-pound class bluefin.
It's all over for me.
Bad day at the office.
Round the boat.
Round the boat.
Under the boat. Yeah.
Everybody pull in.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's, we've kind of termed it full contact fishing to a certain extent, because you're shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of guys that you don't know. A lot of them you'd like to know, some of them you don't want to know. Yeah. And when I say full contact, we all go out there, bring our equipment, rent our equipment. We have to travel to get there. It's a $200 round trip fare from here to there, plus your ticket, plus your boat ticket. And there's nothing worse than to have some guy that's out there, and God bless them. I try to help guys every chance I get because I want to see them catch a fish.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've caught a lot of fish, and a lot of these guys, it's their first time. And the tuna shuffle, follow your line, follow your line, follow your line. You're going to learn that. You're a great dancer. You're going to love this. You can just two-step. But what you have to do is stay in front of your line.
Okay. Keep moving down the roll.
Exactly. There's a current. There's always a current. Sometimes the wind's blowing. the opposite way of the current, so it gets kind of confusing. But if you stay in front of your line and you just shuffle, they call it the tuna shuffle. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Coming through.
Coming through. And when you hook up something, there's a little bit of etiquette and some protocol. I'll tell the guy that I need to go over or under one time. And then I learned some things to do with my elbow in the karate shop.
That's right.
I am coming over. I am going under. But whatever, if you're going to stand there, you're moving.
That's right.
I will move you.
Becomes chum in the water.
Well, it's just, you get 25 guys and everybody wants to be in the same spot at the same time, on the fantail, over in the port corner. There's only room for me.
You would never dominate that position, would you?
I try to, and I'm going to teach you some things. Reason I ask about swim baits, fishing on a boat on the slide with a swim bait, as opposed to standing there. You need to learn all this. You stand with, this is my rod, this is my bait. You stand there with your rod in your hand, your leader and your hook between your index finger and your left thumb. You stand at the bait tank with your hand around a big, juicy bait, whether you're using sardines or anchovies, whatever the case is. And when they holler hook up, the scramble's on. You got 25 guys on that boat trying to get the same spot at the same time. 2/3 of them want to get that same bait that you have. So you have to be
primed.
Jack be nimble and Jack be quick. Grab the anchovy and put it on your stick and get in the water.
Holy crud.
Yeah.
Now, I can't just bring my anchovies from my pizza the night before and just keep it in my pocket?
No, they're not going to eat it.
Oh.
I'll just bring a Squatch with me.
They will eat a live anchovy. And when you get into a feeding frenzy, and I don't get this, been out there 900 days, and I still don't get it if I spend another 900 days, you can have breezers coming through, eating everything in sight. But if that anchovy or that bait has a red nose, we're not eating it.
A red nose?
Yeah. You'll see. Okay.
Wow.
So what I like to do is take my swim bait in an anchovy pattern, which is a white belly, green center, and a brown back. You heard them talk about anchovies and the brown backs. 3/4 ounce, wedge-shaped, 3D eye, lead head, jig head, 5.5 inch body, and I stand there on the port side, port corner. And when they holler hook up, poof, free spool, and I let it go. Down, down,
yeah,
down,
forever,
down. Pretty soon your line's singing, zzz, and you try to give it to the count of 10. I can usually get to 1, 2, 10, slam, pull, whoa, fish on. Okay, because what's happening is when the trolling rods are out, and one of them hooks up, the captain throttles back, puts that boat into a port stall, and the boat slides. But what's happening is those tunas, they're coming.
Yeah.
They're coming to the back of the boat. And if you're up there messing around in the bait tank going, oh, damn, where's my rod? Here, hold my beer. I can't find my rod. And it happens. You need to be Johnny on the spot, and you will be. Been there, done that, and I'm telling you, fishing the slide's a good thing.
I can hardly wait.
All righty.
I can tell you're all juiced up already.
We're going to learn how to fish about summer patterns with Larry the Lizard using a new bait, maybe a couple new baits. I'm Don McDowell.
Don Ortiz.
John Colazar.
Man, I want to go tuna fishing.
I know. I do too.
Yeah.
I know I don't want her, I swear that's a fact. But the thought of somebody else rubbing her back just kills me.
Yeah, shame on them.
Oh, boy, that'll hurt.
Oh, yeah.
That's a hurting.
Doesn't that song want to make you go have a beer? All righty, we're going to change gears. We're going to be talking to Larry the Lizard somewhere in northern Arizona. Larry, what's happened? Where are you, bud?
I am in Camp Verde.
Camp Verde's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You and I spoke a little bit yesterday. The fish are pulling off, moving into their summer pattern, which is prime time for your premier lizards. Where are your lizards available? Let's start with that, and then I'm going to roll into a question on
how to fish them.
So.
All right. Well, they're available locally at Sportsman's Warehouse in Phoenix, Mesa, Tucson. Phoenix Fishing Supply has them, and Liar's Corner also has them, and they're also available online at LarryTheLizardCustomBaits.com.
Okay. And you've got a new Pro Worm out. How's that coming out, and why don't I have some?
I'll tell you what.
I'm just saying.
The Pro Tour rattling worms are selling super fast. It's a newer bait. You got a preview of my Frankenstein prototype, I don't know, several months ago, maybe February or March. But these things are incredible. They really are. They've got the rattling chamber system in them with the curly tail. It's got the same flange or hinge that allows that rattle to whip back and forth, gives it a subtle swimming motion just like the lizard has. That it is just a realistic presentation that you just can't really get with any other soft plastic baits. And I'm really excited about these. I've been testing them out, and I've been just absolutely slaying fish on this bait. And I'm really excited. This bait is going to win a lot of big tournaments, and it's something else. And you're going to have some real soon. I promise you.
Marked and loaded.
Yeah, boy. All right, let's roll back into summer patterns, fishing the lizard on a Carolina rig. Let's start with that, which seems to be an extremely effective technique for summertime patterns. How do you rig it? What size line? What size hook? How big of a weight? Are you using a bead? Are you using a clicker?
I'll tell you what, on a Carolina rig, and that's what I really started bass fishing with 20-some-odd years ago when I really started getting into bass fishing. And I like to go as light as I possibly can. And what I mean by light is probably 8-pound test. I stay away from the fluorocarbon. I really like mono. Vicious is real good. I like P-line a lot. P-line has a lot of memory, so a lot of guys don't like to use it. But what I do is I just stretch my line out before I go fishing. And yeah, it's kind of a pain. But the thing is you have so much more power with the mono. And the sensitivity really is there if you stretch out your line first. Now, Vicious, you don't have to stretch out your line, but the P-line you do. And I like to use about 8-pound tests. And a leader on those things, usually I'm going to go 18 to 24 inches with that leader, sometimes even 3 feet.
Okay, let me stop you. Let me back up. Are you using your main line 8-pound test and changing up on your leader size?
No, I don't do that because I know a lot of guys like to use a heavier line for their main line and then go down on
30-pound braid Power Pro.
Yeah, and Power Pro's great, but the thing I like about using just the straight mono all the way through in the same pound test is, for example, P-line, an 8-pound P-line really has the test of maybe 14 or 16-pound test on it. So that's the main reason I like it, and it has the give, because when you've got the braid on there, even though you've got a fluorocarbon or a mono leader, you don't have the stretch. And
exactly. Why do you want to put up with the stretch? What advantage does the stretch of monofilament have over zero stretch of braid?
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of times when you go to set that hook and there is no stretch, when that fish goes to fighting, you can really easily rip that hook out of their mouth. And what you want it to do is you want that hook to just kind of gradually sink in and get a real good hook set. But when you're ripping on that thing, a lot of times you can really rip that hook out of that fish's mouth before they really have that bait the way you think they have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to have that stretch because that allows that hook to really get set in their mouth, whereas when you're yanking on braid, there's no stretch. There's no allowing for that hook to sink in.
Well, one of the things, let me throw out something using braid. You just can't use any old rod. You've got to match the rod to the line, and using braid, you've got to have medium action to, with a slow tip, let's say, so you can avoid doing what you're doing, ripping hooks out of their lips. And you've got to you really put some time into setting that drag.
Yes, and that is critical because I've never used a Carolina rig on anything stronger than a medium tip rod. And I think that was my own ignorance because when I first started bass fishing, all I had was an ugly stick, so they have a lot of play. And when I went to start really fishing and I had the harder tips, I started losing fish, and I had never really lost fish with the medium action. But still, even with that being said, the braid has no play, and even a 3-foot leader with mono doesn't give you a whole lot of play. So I like to have it to where when they grab that bait, especially on a Carolina rig, they've got 24 inches, let's say, of play, but a lot of times those fish are going up and they're grabbing the bait, and they might have it in the side of their mouth or whatnot, and it just seems to me that with that extra play, they don't feel you and let go like they normally would, and it just allows for a fish catch ratio that is much more productive. And as far as how I rig these, I use a 4-man, what I call a 4-man Carolina rig. All I do is I take a lead bullet weight, put it on there, and underneath it, I'll just take a split shot and clamp it on and tie a little knot underneath it so it doesn't move. And a lot of guys will not do that. And I do it just because, you know what, it's cost effective and it works.
It's fast.
And it's fast. And brass and beads are great. They really are. But if you're looking for something that's productive, this is the cheapest way to make a Carolina rig, and it works. It really does work.
Okay, what size bullet weight are you using?
I try to go as light as I possibly can.
Well, let's say we're fishing in 15 to 25 feet of water.
15 to 25 feet of water, I'm probably going to use 3/8 to a half ounce bullet weight.
Okay.
And then the split shot is going to add maybe another 1/8 to a 1/4 ounce to it. So you're looking at maybe 3/4 of an ounce total weight on it.
Okay.
That deep. And a lot of guys don't have the patience because that's not going to let it fall because these are made of the American floating plastic, so they don't fall like a regular plastic falls. So you have to have a little more patience for it to get down. But the thing that's great about that is with these baits, they're gonna hover once you get to the bottom. They're gonna hover 4, 5, 6 inches over the top of whatever that bottom is, whether it's weeds, rocks, sand, pea gravel, whatever.
Sure.
And that's what fish really like. They want it to be almost suspended. And when you're fishing in the summertime, you got to look for those humps, ridges, any kind of cover with shade, especially in Arizona, because man, there is no shade, and those fish, they don't have eyelids, and sometimes I don't either when I come back off the water.
Right on. Well said. All right, and available at Sportsman's Warehouse. How many colors are you stocking at the Sportsman's?
For the lizards, the 6-inch, I believe they have maybe 8 of the colors.
Nice.
And some of our hottest colors are the Rayburn Red, which is a watermelon seed red with a blood red tail. Of course, the one that I won the Bill Luke deal is Bloody Fork, which is a green pumpkin seed with a little bit of red glitter and a blood red tail.
All right. Hey, man, we got to cut this short. We'll follow up with you next week. Look for the SRT Dodge in downtown Camp Verde Wednesday, Thursday. And I'll be looking for a bag of worms.
Yeah, you will.
All righty, hey.
You got it.
All right, man, we got to flip into a break. Larry the Lizard, check him out online or at Sportsman's Warehouse, up close and personal. We'll be back.
Pistol shots ring out in a barroom night.
All righty, we're back. Good information from Larry the Lizard, Fishing the Lizard on Summer Patterns, joining us now from downtown Payson, where the weather is always nice, just like San Diego. James Guggenauer, Master Rod Builder, Rim Country Custom Rods. James, good morning.
Good morning, Brother Don. How are you doing today?
You know, we had a great time up in Payson.
Some of us did.
Well, yeah, J.K. did a stellar job. You know, he paid the money, paid the price, and, did a really good job representing SRT, the National Guard, Build It, Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge, and Safeguard Business Systems, our bagel sponsor. You got to love the guy. And I was quite disappointed because, as you know, I talked to Cameron, I paid your fee, and you missed your starting time.
No, James missed his starting time?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
So, next year, James, you, me, as always, we're going to follow JK through the 5K run.
There is going to be a contingent from SRT next year in which all of us as a team are going to be out and doing it.
Oh, hee ho. Yeah.
Hey, the only guy I think I could have beat would have been that one policeman, Don.
I could have beat that guy. Yeah, and I'm going to have to put my money where my mouth is after picking on him like I did. I'm going to have to beat him in into Payson and out of Payson without being seen.
Yeah, you're going to have to change your truck or something. It's
yeah. He said I'd be visited by DPS, the Payson PD, and probably the Gila County Sheriff's Department. So,
along with the Tano Indian tribe.
I didn't pick on the Indian folks.
Oh, okay.
All right, hey. Let's get to your report. You've got a pretty good report, and I have some information that I've been unwilling to share with the crappie fishermen, but I think I'll share it today with you.
Okay, sounds good. Let me start with the water level. Roosevelt Lake actually dropped another percent. I just noticed even since I did my report, it's down to 53%, but still a lot of water in the lake. The Tano Creek is flowing at about 35% of its normal rate, and the Salt River continues to flow at about 60% of its normal rate. So, and the other thing that's really happening this past week, I noticed, is that the water temperature is really increasing. As the ambient temperature gets close to 100, we're into the mid-80s now in the afternoon in the backs of some coves. The other thing that's happening is, and each year at this time we kind of get this on Roosevelt, we start to get an algae bloom going there. And for anglers that are familiar, as you troll your boat, you can even see the algae kind of stir up behind the boat. So the water has a definite green tint to it. So we noticed this week that we're switching from our typical white baits or like a light purple color baits more to a green bait and getting better success with that. So a green pumpkin or a bullfrog color would be probably more advantageous this coming week than a white bait. But the bass fishing was called excellent this past week by local anglers. Bass are definitely moving into a summer pattern, and a lot of the anglers that were catching lots of fish a month ago in the spawn and post-spawn are kind of wondering where those fish all went right now. So the trick would be to look in deeper water in the afternoons because those fish are going to move there. But that top water bite is still present. Guys are saying that before sunup, the top water bite is pretty good. But as soon as the sunlight hits the lake, it almost shuts it down immediately. But if you're fishing the top water, you can't beat that Rio Rico. 4 out of 5 guys I talked to are using the new Rio Rico in the clear color and getting great success on that. So as the sun gets higher, fish are going to move to that cover or structure. So you're going to have to switch over to a Cinco, a drop shot, Texas rig, or Carolina rig. Still getting reports in 15 to 25 feet of water is the best depth to be fishing up there. So bass fishing is pretty good. As we move to the summer pattern, everything we're seeing right now is pretty typical for this time of year. Just a little warmer out there, a little more uncomfortable for the anglers. The crappie fishing...
Well, before you move on to the crappie fishing, rumor has it you boated a 10-plus this past week.
Whoa.
I saw James' thumb. And I know what I did. Yeah, you hook a big bass like that?
One of those stories that if you don't have pictures, it didn't happen. But, yes, caught a 10-pound plus, caught it on a reaction innervation paddle tail bait, got it into the boat, but the hook was double hooked through the jaw in the bone, and it took about a minute to get that hook out. So me being a good conservationist, thought I'd put the fish back in the lake and revive it a little bit. So I did that for a minute. However, when I tried to lift the boat the fish back into the boat to get a picture, the fish had a little different idea, and it started flopping and wiggling, and I'm holding on for everything that I could. But it slipped out of my hand, hit the side of the boat, and flopped back into the water.
Ouch. Okay, now, James, I love you, man, and I do this with the utmost respect. Now, this story, about the fish, pretty consistent. Now, yesterday, it was on a bullfrog-colored skinny dipper.
Oh, there we go. Here comes the varietal.
Today, it's something else.
Uh-huh.
No, it was on the bullfrog skinny dipper.
Okay.
Yeah, right, and I mean, a main lake point, right where you would expect it. A little late in the day, though. It was about 12:30 in the afternoon.
Nice.
Oh.
Just as I was saying, with the water changing colors there, I had just switched from the use a skinny dipper that's white with violet flakes on it. And when I was thinking about that green water, I thought, well, let me try that bullfrog. And second cast, I loaded that fish up. But so now I have to tell everybody that the biggest fish that I ever caught, biggest bass I ever caught, I don't know what it weighed. But at least I had it in the boat.
Yeah, and you've got the thumb to prove it. All right, let's get into the crappie stuff.
Crappie fishing is improving. As the spawn winds down for the crappie, they start getting into their schools, so we're hearing reports of bigger schools now. Crappie are in 25 to 30 feet of water, but the most consistent thing is they are always in the brush. So you got to find an area that's got some brush in it, and if you can get right into them and fish vertically, that's the best technique right now. And sit right in that bush because they're not going away. A lot of times, a little earlier in the spring, you can catch 2 or 3 out of a bush, and then they seem to move off into another area.
No, they get it figured out.
I'm finding that they're staying pretty close now to the brush. So there's a bait called a little fishy that you can fish on like a 1/16th ounce jig head. It's a pearl-colored looking bait with a blue stripe on the back, and you can set those right into the brush, and the crappie just love those. Nighttime fishing is also getting better for crappie, and we're going to have a new moon this weekend, so crappie lights are going to be successful. A lot of guys that fish at night like those lights, and they do work pretty good at attracting bait and crappie up to that area. The really good news is still the trout fishing. Last week with Memorial Day, guys were just calling it over the top. All stock trout are being caught, stock rainbow up on the rim, and good reports on every lake that I talked to fishermen that were out there. Power baits, worms, and salmon eggs. And if you like to use a little ultralight spinning rod, it would probably be a Super Duper or a Panther Martin. Those work well. Fly anglers, you always hear match the hatch. Well, right now it's grasshoppers are everywhere. So crick hoppers was the bait that was reported best, and very early morning and very late at night are the two best times to be catching trout. It's a little bit dormant during the day with the sun and the clear skies. If you can get there early or late, you're going to do pretty good. Green Valley Lake, also right here in Payson, they keep stocking that. I think the stocking is winding down, but there's still a lot of nice trout in there. And it's one of those stories where 10% of the fishermen catch 90% of the fish. You see the same old guys sitting out there every day. And like good reports last week, power ball or power bait, mostly at Green Valley Lake.
That's because those guys are there 99% of the time. Yeah. They're retired.
Yeah, right on. Okay, James, I want to let a couple things out of the bag here. I want you guys to think about going to the TTIBlakemore.com website. Click on Mr. Crappie.
Oh, yeah.
Look specifically at the Slab Daddy, the Spin Daddy, and the Slab Daddy Supper.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm letting some stuff out of the bag here.
Sounds
and then
like a band.
Run over to click on the that's Mr. Crappie, and then click on the Roadrunner icon, and that'll take you over to a whole bunch of little fun things that
we can't talk about.
Yeah, well, we can't talk about them, but these are crappie catching things. Just haven't come back from those guys. Alabama, Mississippi. Crappie is a religion. We just think we have anal crappie fishermen. We don't. I mean, it's praise the Lord, praise the crappie bait back there, man. I'm telling you. But these are consistently, and you can mix and match your colors on these Roadrunner lures and the Slab Daddies. Check them out.
I will do it.
All righty, Brother James. Congratulations on that fish. And by the way, glad you got a new boat.
I'm glad to. Hey, Don, just thank you again for coming up to Payson and doing a great job there. You're a great representative. Loved having you on the morning radio show yesterday. Several guys called yesterday. They were asking, how do you get Don McDowell up there? I said he loves the place.
Yeah, I do. All right. James, we'll talk to you next week. I'm Don McDowell with
John Colazar.
Don Ortiz.
You should have seen the size of that javelina at the K-Mog parking lot.
Really?
I'm telling you, that thing had to weigh 70 pounds.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I know I don't want her, I swear that's a fact. But the thought of some.
All righty, we're going to get this thing shut down and get on with our day. The thing I want to tell you about this Slab Daddy Supper rig is just working outstanding for largemouth bass.
Wait a minute, I thought that was set up for crappie.
Yeah, it is, but if you take a look at it, it's real similar. It's a it's a single wire with double heads on it.
Yep.
And
is there a blade in front?
Yeah, well, it can be. A lot of guys are throwing Alabama rigs. In Arizona, we're allowed to fish two heads on a wire, two baits. And this is stock out of the box. And I saw it a year ago and didn't put a lot of credence in it. Things I'm seeing up close and personal firsthand on Lake Martin in Alabama with these guys, this is just a kick butt bass lure. And I talked to TJ, and I have in my color combination request was a chartreuse head,
right?
Lavender purple back with a white belly. Bam, game's on.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And a couple things what James is talking about with the green tint to the water. We're fishing pretty much translucent baits or white baits in clear water, and as the visibility or the dinginess of the water increases
with the algae,
you change your colors more dark, more dark, more dark. Now, this is not going to make any sense to either one of you, but at nighttime, and you're fishing spinner baits, black. What? At night. Oh yeah.
Sound, vibration, that's what they just hit at?
Well, sound, vibration, silhouette.
Okay. Black on black?
Black on black. absolutely black on black. At the time,
Never guessed that.
Mark Townsend attested to this. I'm out there trying to throw chrome super spooks at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
I love fishing topwater baits at nighttime, and it's got a whole bunch of rattles in it, so it makes a ton of noise. And I got thinking about it, brought it home, couldn't find a black one on the market, got my Krylon out.
Sprayed it on.
Yep, got a black one.
Now it's black on black.
Yep, black on black. Out of the dark? No, still in the dark. So as that water clarity changes from, one level to level to level, and the other thing that you need to think about when you're fishing in that surface condition where you can see down maybe a foot, 2 feet, what do you think you're fishing at 15 feet?
Dark.
Black.
Yeah. Red, purple, black. Combination of
So your darker colors definitely
darker
work.
colors. Purple is a catalyst. I don't care what color it is, or what color the water is, and you can be fishing Lake Pleasant. And this is another out of the bag thing. Red worms, straight tail red worms, 3/16 ounce Carolina rig, flipping them along the shore until about the time the sun's almost hitting the top of the mountains. Change to red with a purple stripe. After it gets dark, change to purple. And one of the better robo worms has got a tequila mutilator color that is extremely effective.
Wait a minute. What is a tequila mutilator?
It's purple and brown.
Doesn't come in a bottle, right?
That's not the worm in the bottle, no. But it's extremely effective. The other is the black and blue. Ron just absolutely swears by this. He throws black and blue stuff, 10-inch black and blue worms. He's like me on topwater. Doesn't care what it is, what's going on. Black and blue worm, 10-inch, go.
Yelling them.
Yeah.
So, this bass fishing is, sometimes Lake Pleasant, we have to do a lot of junk fishing, figure out what's going to work, and, what works in one cove not going to work in the other 47 coves that you're going to fish. So you do a lot of junk fishing, but Bartlett, Roosevelt, some of the other lakes, they're fairly consistent. You get on a pattern, and you can stay within that quadrant of that lake, because you look at Roosevelt, you've got 6 different distinct environments on that lake. It's so large. Pleasance, there's a good 4. We can break that down to 4 environments. And what's happening over here, let's say upper arm of Castle Creek, is not going on over in Jackass. That kind of stuff. So, you got to change up. But those colors are consistent.
Wow.
The pressure bite worms, one of the that Jim Brown from Fish Clipper now has from Labina Lures, who brought the Westy rigs back, is the red, and the red with the purple stripe, black with yellow spots. Go figure.
There's a whole lot of learning I still have yet to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope somebody's recording this so they can.
Well,
and of course you could be listening later.
Yeah, next week, what we're going to do, John, we're going to talk about chasing shadows. We talk about chasing a dream.
Yep.
With topwater, you have to engage in chasing shadows, because James is right, because once that sun comes up,
yeah, game's over there.
Game's pretty much over. However, as you engage, you want to fish the banks early on that are going to take the sun first.
That makes sense.
Yeah, okay. They're in the shade, the sun's coming up from the east, so the east-facing banks, you want to go out there. If you have a favorite bank, pound that bank first.
Right. Because that's where they're leaving from first.
The one that's facing west is going to have shadow and darkness longer than the opposite bank.
Oh, okay. You're saying in just terms of sequencing, it's not necessarily a best spot, but sequencing, you want to make sure that the east-facing bank you get to prior to the sunlight destroying it.
Exactly.
And then you pull your rig across the other side.
Yeah,
switch sides. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And chasing shadows all day long. We've been on some really stupid patterns on Lake Pleasant and Roosevelt. You get the cloud cover moving in, and you know how you get isolated, really dark clouds in an area. If they're there for any extended time at all, put a topwater bait in there.
That makes sense.
And Roosevelt, Rabbit Island, I don't don't care what time of the year it is, what the temperature level is. You get a topwater bait out at Rabbit Island between 11:30 and 12:30. Game's on.
Always there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Now there's a technique of screaming them through the area and then slowing them down and give a kind of a finesse retrieve that we've talked about instead of the Rick Klung chunk,
Right.
chunk. There's a time and a place for everything. But if you use a combination of those two techniques, a power topwater retrieve versus a finesse.
A stop and go,
well,
seductive look.
It's like going in and burning an area with a DD-22, burning a hump just to wake the fish up.
Yeah.
They may not chase that bait, but they're going to go, whoa, what was that?
Got your attention now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is that guy?
Yeah, and then go back in and slow it down, present a soft plastic, whatever it is you're doing. So, okay, we got just about a couple minutes to get this thing wrapped up, cleaned up, and actually 1 minute. Thanks for doing what you did yesterday. Don Ortiz, you guys did an awesome job up there. JK, my hat is off to you for
53 minutes, baby.
Hey, our whole band salutes you, man. That was pretty cool, by the way. Yeah, it was great seeing you out there.
And he got a hug from the Squatch.
That's right. The Squatch loved me.
Hey, I'd like to tell everybody also, if you're listening this morning, if you go over to the Dina Preston Facebook and hit the like button, I'll send you a free Dina Preston song.
Here we go.
That's right.
Nice.
Doing it. John's doing it now.
So there you go. That doesn't happen every day. It's Dina Preston Band, Ambassadors of Goodwill. That's us on Facebook.
Oh, nice. By the way, Don, next Saturday, ADA Banquet, you don't have to be present to win. You can buy your tickets online. It's only guns to be won.
Just guns?
Just guns.
Nice.
And you don't have to be there to win.
You do not.
Wow. And what's the entry? What's the bottom entry?
Minimum is 100 up to 1,000. Take your choice. You can go in 100, 300, 500, $1,000 bucket, and you do not have to be present to win.
Oh, so if you got a pool of friends together.
Oh, yeah. If you put 20 friends together, one of you is getting the rifle.
That's right.
Yeah, but then you got 19 guys to wrestle with to see who gets the rifle.
Short of straw.
All right. Hey, I'm going to leave you with this thought. Don't be a wimp. Keep Jack's Link Jerky in your truck, in your boat, in your backpack, in your pocket, and messing with Sasquatch? Yeah.
Go ahead. If you're that dumb, you mess with Sasquatch.
It's okay. I've seen me do it.
I got some in my guitar bag right now.
Nice. I'm Don McDowell.
John Colazar.
Don Ortiz.
Hey, take your kids fishing. Mess with Sasquatch. Salute a soldier. We'll talk to you next week. We're out of here.